Hey everyone, my name is Zach Masteller, and I just wanted to create a quick portfolio of some of the technology that we were able to go through in my recent education class. There some different technologies and different websites and things just to help in the classroom more, to better for teachers to be better prepared, but also to better help students utilize technology in the classroom. Um, so yeah, I just wanted to create a couple of things. We did a lot of things like making avatars, infographics, learning how to best do screencasting and presentations. And so I just wanted to put some of these together in a small little project to just kind of go over with all of y'all some things that could be really useful in the classroom. And just I want to show you how to go over them as well, but I also want to incorporate and show you kind of some of the ISTE standards that can be linked to some of these projects, so you can better understand how they can be utilized in the classroom. So with that, so first and foremost, copyright law. Super important. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to put it in the first slot. I do believe that it falls best under the ISTE third standard, which is citizen. If you see this here, I think it best equips educators, or gives the educators opportunity to best equip their students on how to responsibly use technology in the classroom. And I think one of the most important things to start with is most definitely copyright law. It's super important, and it's actually one of the more. I actually really enjoyed learning about this, believe it or not, in my class because of the importance of it. But not only that, previously my ignorant self thought that in order to actually have copyright, or actually have the rights over something, that I thought that, really stupidly, that I had to like own a patent or go through a lot of different channels to trademark things, which you still have to do. But copyright is not that. Well, it is that, but it is not that in that sense. It is basically when you create anything and put it on the internet, you are the creator. Once you create anything, you are the creator, and there's an X amount of years that you get proprietary, that you basically get that information, and people have to ask you for permission to utilize that information unless you have made it for reusability. So this one's super important. And I think it's one of the most important to teach in a classroom. Like I said, I was really blown away about what I learned about copyright and just fair use. And so I definitely think that this is really important to go over with students. And it's really important for educators as well to really understand, especially when they are utilizing other people's resources or things like that, as most teachers do in the classrooms, especially in the elementary or primary school classrooms. This is super important. There's very often a lot of teachers will use resources and unknowingly violate copyright laws and can get themselves, as well as their schools and even their school districts, into lots and lots of trouble. So this is extremely important, and I think that all educators should definitely be knowledgeable about this. It should help their students really be knowledgeable about this as well. In this digital age, it's really easy to go anywhere on the internet and easily copy and paste things into one's own work without knowing that you've just violated a major law. So it's super, super important. Next, I wanted to talk to you about the Voki avatar, and just creating an avatar to be utilized within the classroom. I think Voki was really interesting, just being able to create an avatar and being able being able to be unique. And I think that's what's really awesome about being able to create an avatar, is that any student can be whatever they want to if you give them the opportunity. And I think that's why this best falls under ISTE standard number 5, because this, I mean, it incorporates exactly what this is. Design authentic learner-driven activities and environments that recognize and accommodate learner variability. And learner variability is so important. I think that making an avatar, such as in the VoKey program, is just so great to be able to utilize. And I actually want to pop mine up that I have created myself. And this was mine. You can see it has movement, and if I can click play here, and it'll talk to you, tell you about me. But this gives students an opportunity to be different. They get to be unique in this. They get to create an avatar of what either that they think they look like, or what they wish that they looked like, whether that be a Major League Baseball player or an alien. And get them to talk, and you can utilize this in a lot of different ways. You can use this to have students give their opinions that they might otherwise not be very be very open about giving in front of the whole classroom. And so I think this is a really great way to incorporate just like the standard said, learner variability. I think you can easily get students more involved with things like this that help them be unique. So yeah, I think that has been really awesome. It's one of the things that we got to do, and it's been really, really neat. The next one I just want to go over is infographics, and how important that they can actually really be, especially when it comes to teachers helping parents and students learn about utilizing technology in the classroom. So, for example, I have a this is like a Creative Commons copyright infographic that I have here, but I also wanted to go to the one that I made, and it was about Minecraft in the classroom and how Minecraft can be utilized to really do a lot, honestly, in the classroom with students. As I put here, creates artistic minds and helps the creativity be boundless. But as well as like different ideas of how to use the Minecraft in the classroom. So infographics just give us a good ability to, as educators, a good ability to put out information so people can know, and so parents can know, so kids can know how they could utilize technology in the classroom. This is something that's really going around a lot now. Minecraft in the classroom. So that's kind of why I wanted to create a little bit about this, and just kind of shows different ways that we can use it, and helps kids learn through using it. So infographics can be really important to be able to do that and really show different people how a certain technology could be used best in the classroom, or certain really anything could be used best in the classroom. As I showed you over here, the Creative Commons one. I mean, that's a perfect example of ways to help people understand in a very easy format how to do something, or what rules to follow, or what it could potentially do, like mine here. So yeah, and I think this best falls under ISTE category number 2, under the leader category, and specifically I liked the 2A here. Helps to shape and advance and accelerate a shared vision, and I think that's really important to help just create a shared vision for other people, the vision that you may have as to what technology you want to use in the classroom, and how you can help other people see that same vision and how it can be incorporated as well. So I think that's super, super important. Next up, we have assessments. Well, most people might think, okay, assessments, like, okay, that's kind of silly, Zach. Like, anybody can make a quiz, anybody can do that. Yes, anybody can make a extremely boring 1 through 50 quiz. When was the Constitution written? When da 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 da. It can be drawn on and on and on. You can make a really boring quiz, or you can create something much more interactive. Like for instance, over here on Kahoot, you can create a quiz for people to go through. So for instance, you can create a quiz, and with your class you can play through a quiz with them in the classroom. You can set time limits to said quizzes, so while you're going through, it's almost like playing trivia in the classroom. And at the end, if you prefer, you can have students see the results at the end. You can see what the percentage of the results are at the end of the quiz to see where the students ranked, and maybe that they need to do better, or maybe that they need to study more. Quizzes and assessments can really give you a lot of good feedback for your students. But that doesn't mean that just has to be mundane. Things like Kahoot are a great way to make kids be excited about taking these quizzes, and incorporates a lot of. It makes them be involved. It's not just a piece of paper sitting in front of them. They're involved. They're active. They're watching. They're waiting. And Kahoot, actually, you get to use your phone. So I mean, that's a bonus right there. They get to pull out their phones. I mean, any student's going to be happy if they get to pull out their phones during class and then use it to play a game. I mean, come on, like what student would not be happy to do that? So Kahoot is one way to do that. And then even Google Docs. You can easily create a survey in here as well for either students. So when they go home, they can come and fill out a survey for the classroom. Or for parents even to fill out a survey for a classroom. So for here, I made a survey to actually go out to parents to help track and see how much technology the parents allow for their kids to use at their home, because I wanted to be able to see how much technology is used at home versus not. So that way I could best gauge especially what kids have different learning traits than others. Some may really like technology and some really may not. And so I think this is a great way to kind of gauge and see what your classroom may enjoy rather than not enjoy. So back to the ISTE standards as well. I think this best covers number 4, the collaborator. I think it's a good way to really improve the practice aspect, discover, and to share resources and ideas. I think this is a great way to bring students and parents into that fold. Not just colleagues, but I think this is a great way to bring students and parents in to where they're interactive with the class, and so they can actually see how much, or based on a survey basically, how much they're able to do, or how they can help in a classroom, how they can incorporate more or less technology to their home. I mean, I think the things are endless as far as creating a survey, creating an assessment for either students or parents or even colleagues. I think this can be beneficial for all of them. Moving on over to effective PowerPoint and screencast. I think this is super important, and I think it best falls into ISTE standard 6, which is the facilitator. Just being able to like I said, facilitate learning with technology to support student achievement. I think screencasting and making effective PowerPoints is super important, and I think it should be used very often, especially teaching kids how to make effective PowerPoints and not just PowerPoints filled with bullet points, because then nobody understands anything. I think that's just really important. Screencast. I have a previous one I'll show you real quickly, and this is it right here. I made one on Dungeons and Dragons. I'm sorry, let me pause that. But yeah, really cool. I was able to make a PowerPoint and a video and incorporate it into a screencast where it's very minimal on the words, but a lot of more of me talking. It's a lot more interactive. So there's that.